Okay, so as we move forward next week, including today, we just start reviewing for your semester exam. And a lot of that, okay, is mainly diagrams. I think that's something new that that we'll do in this class, because usually from every now and then we switch things up on how to evaluate you students. And in this case, okay, what is everything that this process might look like? This, then we had something like this, okay? No. Okay, which means when we're talking about glycolysis. Now, like I tell other students, typically if we spend time writing things down, it's probably a good idea to, unless we tell you, you probably don't need to write this down. But in this case, maybe not, because you probably have this wrote down somewhere throughout the course of this semester, okay? So when glycolysis takes place, what we're talking about is what is being broke down. Okay, so glucose. So in that process, okay, how many ATP do we get from this? Okay, now there's two answers. One says 4, one says 2. Both of them are correct if you state yes.
I was going to answer the question you're about to ask.
Well, why don't you answer? Then we'll go back and ask the question.
You get 2 for the net gain,
Mm-hmm.
like what you're actually making, and then 4 in total.
So in this process, yes, 4 ATP are produced, but this is a gross product. So our net gain, then, I'm just putting a line under here, so our net gain is how many?
2.
Because in this process of getting from here down to here, it takes 2 ATP to run it. Yes, 4 ATP are given off, but it takes 2 to get to there. So it's just like you subtract the 2, so there's your magic number. Then this circle perhaps might signify what? Not the cell cycle.
The cell.
No. It is a cycle. Citric acid or Krebs cycle, they mean the same thing. This is your Krebs cycle. Okay? Now, a couple things that have to take place for this to happen, because we said respiration in general. This up here is what type of respiration? You know it, you just don't know you know it. That's one of them, but is it the correct one? It's anaerobic respirations up here. Anaerobic, oops, not respiration. Respiration. Okay. Then once we get down to here, the Krebs cycle is what type of respiration? Aerobic. So once we say this, okay, aerobic respiration, besides this being outside of the circle and this producing ATP, this energy is produced in a specific manner because it's lacking something. Okay? So we said there's a couple things that need to take place for this to continue on. So one, we could say we need oxygen. And then something that's maybe we only briefly discussed, and it's what we call acetyl coenzyme A.
And that's what's needed for the
And that's what's needed for this to continue. Okay? Now, you might ask yourself,
Is that ACYTY or LE?
oops, yeah, ACYTYL, acetyl coenzyme A. Okay? So, what happens here is we'll, for the most part, we can pick on some of the basketball players because they're not here. But then we do have one that is here. So what we'll do, some of you are good artists. Okay, if I had a red marker here, I paint a big circle, and then a white circle inside of that, and then another red circle inside of that. Same thing, bullseye and a target. So we'll put a target on your back because we're picking on you. Like the story?
Like the story.
I'm stupid. I'm sorry. Like,
Target?
oh, see, that's what I had in mind, but I said that no one's gonna say the store.
I spent my dad's money there. Where don't you?
You throwing something at Kevin or what?
Yeah, he got a couple pieces of lead donated.
Throwing shade at him.
Oh, okay. You spend your dad's money at Target.
I do.
Okay. Does he know that?
I put his credit card in my phone, so.
He knows it, he just don't like it.
So it's in.
It's an app.
It's an app that has
Yeah,
what's
it's
called the
on my
wallet.
phone. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what happens if that rings it up and the checker says, "You don't look like Justin"?
I'll just say my name's Justin.
Okay.
They wouldn't.
All right.
I never carry my
So
license.
it's my
anymore.
dad.
Well,
He's okay.
also I think one aspect to look at is, do you suppose I don't want to say a company, but a retail store,
They're not
as
gonna
long as they
find
get
my
their money, do you think they really care who you are? Okay. Okay, now we got that straightened out. Okay. So the reason I said now we got this target on your back, not the store, but
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
okay. So like I said, we're gonna pick on you basketball players. Just think of the.
Or was it done?
It was done.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was just her sister saying, "Oh, bud," that was the impression.
Oh.
Pat my shoulder saying, "I need another pen." Okay, but I thought it was funny.
Not related to me.
Okay, so whether you football players going into basketball season, volleyball players going into the basketball season, just think of that first couple 3 days of practice, and even you volleyball ladies going into whether it's gymnastics or figure skating, both of them taking place during the Olympics. I like to watch both of them. Now, oh geez, you're a guy, you're not supposed to watch that. But from a physiological and anatomical standpoint, you have to be a pretty darn athletic person to be able to do some of those feats, whether it's Olympics or ice skating. But anyway, moving forward, and that's why cheerleading, you can't just be a uncoordinated baboon, okay? Okay.
Well,
We got
You've
it.
seen them out there.
Okay. So
sorry.
even going into cheerleading, what was those first couple practices where there's basketball, cheerleading, whichever,
Chilling on our phone.
where, well, you don't learn anything that way. But so how are the legs? That's what I'm getting at.
Painful.
They hurt.
Okay. This is why. Okay.
They don't.
All the acid in your
Real.
muscles.
They've got too much correct
Right.
in them. Like after a
Because-
run of 400, your lactic acid is unbearable.
I'm
And then
surprised
having to
you.
run
I'm
2
surprised
of
you knew that. Not because you're not smart, but why would you be introduced to that?
them. I had a smart friend named Reese.
Oh, okay. Right, because what happens in a lot of biochemical reactions between these two, a lot of things have to happen just right. Okay, one, you have to have enough oxygen. Two, you have to have this enzyme. But what happens is you can continually produce energy because at the end of glycolysis, this is what's produced. But it's not what you said. What did you say?
I said lactic.
You said lactic acid, but why do you think we're writing pyruvic acid?
Because that's a harmful one.
I hope not.
Helpful one.
It's a helpful one, okay? Because at the end of this process, pyruvic acid is produced. But if there's enough oxygen present, this will keep right on going into the Krebs cycle. But if there isn't, this pyruvic acid then gets converted to, and that lactic acid is what builds up in your muscles. And that's where you feel that soreness, okay? There's only one way, well, there's maybe multiple ways. I think, is there some sort of recovery product that you can take? When, for some reason, when I was overseas with some of my buddies over there that would do a lot of weightlifting, that there's some, not just creatine, but some sort of supplement after a workout as a recovery substance.
Yeah, there's like some.
Like a protein.
Well,
Okay.
there's like the liquid IVs that like are most.
That just
Like
makes
it's just
you
like the
walk.
electrolytes of just getting all the things back into the
Okay,
body.
but if you don't want to do all, I'm not saying garbage, but that some people might say is garbage, but rather than doing that,
Drink water.
this does the same thing. Water will flush all that out of your, will flush this out of your muscles, this lactic acid. It's probably maybe just not as efficient, but I don't know. I think sometimes maybe not pump so much stuff into our bodies, and whether it's creatine or whether it's some of this recovery product. I'm not saying that you should or that you shouldn't, but you know, it's one of those things to where why not just drink water? And to make sense of that, when you pull up to the gas pump, we talked about this when you're in physical science, those yellow stickers actually mean something. Do you remember? The type of fuel that it is. The higher the number, is the higher the octane rating. The higher the octane rating, the more it's going to cost. The better, yes, that your vehicle is going to run. But 87% still runs just fine. 92%, yeah, it'll still run just fine. So if that's the case, when people take all these supplements, well then, why not keep pumping 92% octane in your fuel tank? You don't need to. 87, 88, 89 will still do the trick, okay? Just like my point is, this will still do the trick too, okay?
So this is like the 88 and all that other
Yeah,
stuff.
What if you
I
get
think
rid
so.
of the other stuff's putting like electrolytes back into your body? Like
The other
it's
stuff
taking
tastes
away
good.
what it took out. Like it's putting back in.
Yeah, but I'm not saying don't have a grapefruit or a banana or something like that, because that's natural. It's when you're taking substances and putting them in water and then drinking it. That's what I'm getting. Either that's a small grapefruit or a big orange.
Small grapefruit.
Okay. Well, I always thought they were. Yeah, no. Okay, so this is something that we had spent time on. So then this builds up in your muscles, this lactic acid. You produce ATP, just not very efficiently. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, if we had enough oxygen, you can continually do this. So then why is it that also, gosh, I'm tired. Okay? It's not that you're going to run low on this oxygen, but there are 3 places that oxygen needs to be sent. It's not your lower leg muscles. You can produce energy. We just proved that. It's just not very efficient. So where are other 3 places that you continually need to send that oxygen?
Lungs, brain.
Not the lungs, because that's not a muscle. The heart is a muscle.
Brain.
The brain is probably the most important aspect.
Stomach. I don't remember what it's called.
Your diaphragm. We said the lungs. No, your lungs are not a muscle. It's your diaphragm that's a muscle.
Is that like, that's your
Think-
core, isn't it?
Sort of. It's the top of your core and the bottom of your thorax.
I don't know what that is.
See, this is your thorax.
It's the lower.
Okay?
But like,
And then, yeah, so it's the bottom of the thorax or top of the abdomen. Okay. So I would be led to believe that some of that in this box is in the drop folder. That's why we asked, okay, does everyone have access to the drop folder? Because
what do you need to do with that? Like, is that like the videos or what?
yeah, it's probably got this diagram on there, and it's got about the questions about the tigers that is pertinent to your final.
Do we have the answers or like? Oh,
How many questions
got it.
do you have any idea how long?
Probably 30 to 40.
I was thinking
Mhm.
so.
Right.
Does that include?
And then, okay, so just to give you somewhat of an idea, see how much we were paying attention. With Ron and Julie, okay, the 2 tigers, what was their final evaluation? You probably, no. Whoever said something over here, you are so close, but I don't think you said quite correctly. You said hunt, you're not wrong.
To be able to hunt independently.
True, but how would they know that until they took down this specific animal?
So they're able to let them free and be, oh, wildebeest.
Once a wildebeest was taken down by these animals, and did you say wildebeest? I just heard hunting. Okay, so that was pretty much their final evaluation. Okay, that would be their graduation. Once a wildebeest was taken down by these animals, then chances are they're going to be okay. Okay, so there's points in there like that, like even this tiger project. Okay, not that but it's on your handout as well that we went through. There were some big costs that were involved with this project. Do you possibly remember what they were? Okay, so when they move, they have to purchase new what? Land.
And land.
And I think you said it as well, besides land.
Cameras.
Not cameras.
They had a big monsoon season coming.
Animals or food. Okay. And then how do you keep people out and animals in? Fencing. Yeah. 3 things that are always going to be expensive. The products that you need for these encampments, the land for the encampments, and then also the animals for the encampments. So there's information like that on this November 11th deal. Remember, and we had dog review questions. Okay, it just says bio dog review. This is all in the drop folder. That's why we asked, does everyone have access to it? And as far as we could tell, the answer was yes. Okay? So there's questions about the tigers. I think this is pertaining to this diagram and maybe some other ATP diagrams. Then your dog review, and then we've got genetics as well. But we'll save that for next week. Okay? Because we have all of next week to go over this. Yes? Yes? Yes?
I forgot what it was, but what happened to that one guy who like had like really low body fat?
I don't think they really went in to say what had happened to him, but I think he probably just led on and lived a normal life, I think. Yeah. Because sometimes that's what happens is once you get some of these biochemical pathways, and that's what that would be, dealing with fat. Once that's established, sometimes it can be just as simple as taking a supplement. So how do we know something like that is, or what that means? Okay, lactase is an enzyme. What do you suppose lactase might break down? How do we know lactase is an enzyme? How do you know lipase is an enzyme? How do you know amylase is an enzyme? Because they all have the same suffix. Okay? So lactase must break down what type of materials? No. Oh, there's fats in there, yes.
Just anything in the body. It's a specific enzyme.
You know the answer, you just don't know you know it.
Water.
It is a type of food.
Proteins.
No.
Carbs.
It's maybe some proteins, okay, carbohydrates and sugars, you're getting closer.
Brown sugar.
Lipids.
Okay, yeah.
Blood.
Electrolytes.
Breaks down blood.
No.
Uh,
Lactate is
lactate. That's the word.
Milk.
dairy products. That's right.
I'll never guess that.
Okay? All right. So, yes. Yes, so some people who possibly cannot break down dairy products, that's why they call it lactose intolerant. So sometimes it's just as simple as taking a pill to supplement that enzyme activity. They lead a normal life, just have to take the pill. All right, we'll catch up to you next time, next week.
Did the guy with